Ainda falta pouco.
A very, very good evening from India. Good morning from Brazil. Good day from other country. Those who are going to watch this program, role of fathers in child education. Global Edu-Leader Forum is a forum where we discuss issues related to the education. My heartfelt gratitude and welcome to Mr. Jose Walter, Mr. Marcelo, Madam Maria, Beatrice, Global Coordinator, Mr. Rubain, Professor Rubain from Mexico, and all dignitaries, those who are going to join us, Mr. Rajesh Rathore, Mr. Pramod Srivastav, those who will be talking about the role of father in education. Role of mother is a very important, we all know. Mothers are the first teacher. But this has already been discussed a number of times. A new topic which reflects more serious concern about grooming the child in a direction. So doctor son wants to be doctor, advocate son wants to be advocate. Film actor son wants to go in film, leader son wants to go in leader. So of course, this is the reflection of mirroring the image which father contribute in the development of education. I will take as a first speaker, Mr. Jose Walter, your views regarding role of father in the education of child. Mr. Rubain, since you are on the driving seat, so I'll be inviting you as soon as Mr. Jose end up with his thought, 2 to 3 minutes. Welcome to you, Mr. Jose Walter. Your views, how a father contribute in the development of education of child. Over to you and welcome to you.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. When he had speak, my name is Jose Walter. It's a pleasure to hear participating in this conference. I want to thank you for the invitation made by teacher Beatriz Bisotto. Thanks. It's an honor to have the company of frustrated educators and team to deal with this important team to talk about the role of father in the education of children. This weekend, on the second Sunday of August, we celebrate Father's Day in Brazil. A date has been celebrated early in some countries, such as the United States, Portugal, Spain, Italy, India, which celebrate on the second Sunday of June. So I want to start my speech reporting a fact related to my role of father that happened yesterday, Thursday, on my way to school with my 70-year-old son, David. I was driving him with the car to school and asked if the writing teacher was back to school. She had been sick, was hospitalized, went to be in coma, but happens, thank God. And he said yes. On Thursday, she returned to school. I knew he had a task from her before the hospitalization to write an essay on a school telemedicine theme. We had already talked about the progress of the writing, and he told me that he had started writing it. Then I asked if it was ready, if it was finished. He said that not yet, that he was having difficulty and that he didn't know what to write after the introduction. So I asked, David, can you tell a story you haven't heard? He turned to me astonished and asked, what? No, no one can tell what they don't know. They what they didn't hear. So I said, well, so as writing, I can only write what I hear or heard or watched in video. Finally, about what I want to write, I need to connect with the subject, approach it. And then at the time to write, I don't even effort. My mind, the brain itself brings the information and everything comes out easy. He looked reflective at me, eyes still kindly acknowledging the truth in what I said. So I continued. Watch 2 or 3 videos on telemedicine, see 1 or 2 news on the topic, and you will see that the writing will come out easy peasy. I think the father has the role of supporting, helping, inspiring the children and young people during their education. Demonstrating interest in your children's school life is a fundamental part of your learning process. When the child realizes that his father, his mother, his family is interested in his education, the child feels valued, develop themselves safely and with self-esteem. The contrary has its effects also. When the child does not perceive this interest for the father, the mother, the family, the child also understands that they do not need to be interested, that studying is not a value and they himself is not important to the parents. So why study? Various research points that boys with absent parents have more difficulty in self-control. Girls with present parents are less likely to fall early into sexual promiscuity and more likely to have an unhealthy relationships with future partners. That is, the father exercises a fundamental role in the life of the children, provided that he is effectively present. And how to get involved as a parent in children's education? Be active. If your wife takes the front, ask with love to give suggestions. Mothers need their own authority for giving life to their children, but they can let the father fulfill his role as a father, and the father needs to want that. We have already seen that is the health for the children, and the father will realize that he was born for that too. With each conquest of the child, they feel more proud and more secure, and the family walks better towards the happiness so desired.
Really great.
Another aspect to treat is about the father understanding that watching their children's life school doesn't mean just charging them in the study, taking it on as we say, but if accompanied by the father to the right measurement, the trend is that the child's performance is good. Fathers should participate in school meetings, know your children's educators, know the environment in which they study, participate in school decisions together with the board, teachers, and employees. It's even important that the parent follows the studies because it's easier to identify problems that are out of the routine and influence the child's behavior. Allow children and adolescents to speak about their wishes, give openness to talk, and be taken serious in their expressions. So it's necessary to stimulate, motivate, value, teach, talk, prestige, discuss. Punishing is the last two, but that also needs to be applied. It's all the result of a balance between authority and friendship, because when the child feels heard, supported, appreciated, protected, saved, they feel more stimulated to learn and take advantage of the opportunities that school promotes. Finally, I think this is the essence of father's role in children's education, being present. Bem, that's it. A hug to all and thank you.
Professor Jose, I think very well said. You have concluded everything. I would like to welcome Rajesh Rathore sir on the screen. Since Professor Ruben is driving seat, so I would love to request him, please put your views on the topic father's role in child education. Professor Ruben, country coordinator of Mexico Global Edu-Leaders Forum. Once again, welcome to you and over to you.
Thank you very much. I am talking from Peru.
Oh,
Yeah, Peru in South America. Thank you for the invitation once again. One of the things that I really think is somewhat a problem is the repetition of the parents from generations to generation, the patterns, I mean, in the families. Fathers who were raised when they were children with different patterns, they repeat with their children and so on. So what we need to understand is that we need to have the knowledge of education. We don't have a university and a career to be a father or to be a mother or a parent himself or herself. So what we need is to be nourished in knowledge about education, because if we repeat patterns only because we think those patterns worked with us, it's not good, because generations change. It means the child today is not the same the child in the past. We know that we have digital native nowadays. But in my case, I was not a digital native. So I had to learn many things. And since I am an educator, obviously my career deals with education. But when I am the leader of a school, for example, my job is not only to lead the teachers, the pool of teachers that work in that school. My job is to lead the parents that take their children to our schools. And we need to tell them in different times, in different hours, that we call parents classes or parents school. We need to tell them about how to raise their children properly. Because as you mentioned at the beginning, the parents are the first educators, and the parents need to be allies with the teachers. Teachers and parents working together for the benefit of the children, for the benefit of the adolescents or the adolescents. And because we need to see that the child is the future of our societies, the future of our countries. We can have a future president, a future governor. So that is that we need to tell the child that we are working not only in their future, we are working on their present to have a very good future, but with education, with that certain knowledge for their future families as well. Thank you. Greetings from Lima, Peru.
Really great, Professor Ruben. Really great. You have touched the insight. Father must be educated so he can guide. There should be the orientation program for the fathers so he can identify the right role in the future of children. Brazil to Mexico and Mexico to Peru. Now again coming to India. No other than my intellectual friend, Mr. Rajesh Rathore, President Jammu Sahodaya, who is a proud father, and I'm sure he has done a right role towards grooming his own son. Welcome to you, Rajesh Rathore, sir. We would love to know.
Thank you very much, SK sir.
Right
So
role
very
of
good
a father.
evening. Yeah, very good evening to everyone from India, because it's India, it is evening hours. And of course, it's morning in Brazil and other Western countries. So SK sir, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share the stage with the stalwart Edu-Leaders. So that's really amazing. And it is such a touching topic for me. So to our global, I'll say audience, I would like to share in India. During my childhood days, scenario was different. Scenario was different because fathers used to be very tough, hard nut to crack, not easily getting emotional. Always, this bit stiff, the kind of a neck, right? And just not easily just giving up. Rules were very strict, not easily, like this, that way mellowed down. So children or boys, especially of those days, they decided that whenever they will become the father, there will be role reversal. And today, I really feel so great. Me and all my contemporaries, all my colleagues, friends, they have taken over the role of earlier, mothers, moms. Like my mom was very simple, very loving, very caring. Of course, father was also very loving, caring, but one person has to be strict. So, my dear friends, I would like to share today, my wife, she is strict. She ensures that, the children, they follow certain, routine. They follow certain guidelines. They utilize their time very properly. But yes, my role, what was the role of my mother? I am very loving and caring to my children. I keep telling them, beta, for me, your marks do not matter. Your smile is my greatest achievement, my greatest, this happiness today. If you smile, you laugh, you enjoy life. Because this is, when we organize some events or some workshops, like by one very famous a psychiatrist from Mumbai, Hirandandani Hospital, he says that in today's world, because of so many children, committing suicide, reason being because at a given point of time when there is no solution, when there is no hope, children commit suicide. So I feel both mother and father should not be very strict. One should be very loving, caring, kind-hearted, 24/7. 24/7, 52 should say, beta, ever any difficulty, my daughter, any difficulty, just look towards me. I am there to support you, come what may. Even if you lose anything precious, anything in the world, but still we are with you. So my children, so this is what I feel. Father must stand by the side of his children like the rock of Gibraltar. Through every thick and thin, whichever be the difficulty, father's hand on the head of the child can make the child sail through all the turbulent seas. And mother should take care of child's studies, child habits, child's grooming, everything. That child should crack competitive exams, child should go ahead, and father to give that great support, great emotional support. Yes, sir. SK sir, thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh sir. Very well said. Father must stand. Father must be strict, who can take towards the right direction for the child. At the same time, you have mentioned the role of mother. Of course, mother is the first teacher. We are discussing the father role. Moving further, we have Mr. Marcelo, who is a state coordinator of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, a man of management who has a vision, who is guiding force for the youngsters. So over to you, Marcelo, and my heartfelt gratitude. Welcome to you, and over to you. The role of father in the kids' education.
First of all, I have to say that I'm very happy to see you again, Singh, and I'm very proud to be invited for this webinar by my friend Beatriz Bisotto. It's a very great pleasure for me to be here with lots of fathers and mothers who have the role to guide a life, our daughters and sons. It's a great responsibility and still is. And I believe that nowadays is much more, it's a bigger responsibility than in the past. And I will explain. I'm not telling that my father and my grandfather role as fathers in their times was easier. I believe nowadays the volume and the velocity of information make our roles more challenging. You have to lead with much more impacts in our sons and daughters' lives that make our jobs more challenging, because lots of influences different than ours at home. So we have to be more friends than in the past, but not forgetting that we have to guide their lives. We have to have our job, our role as father, and of course as mothers, for them to have for our children to know that we are there to support them, to take care of them, and to be a kind of secured port in case of difficulty. So nowadays, as almost 17-year-old girl, almost a woman, it's a very beautiful woman, I have to be more friend than a guy to impose rules for her. I have to show her that I am side by side, and when she needs, I will be there in any case. And I believe nowadays fathers have to be more as the first scene, not as a co-participant in the children education as in the past. In the past, was very frequent to see the mother in the first plan and the father only as the one who pays the bills. Nowadays, we have to be in charge of our roles with a co-participation with the mother to raise good citizens. I believe this is our main role as a father, not to pay bills only, but to share our knowledge to make good citizens in the future.
Really great, Marcelo. I think beautifully you added the point, this is not only the role to pay the bills. Father has a more role to get connected with the child and take the child towards the right direction, share the life experiences.
Yes.
I have
Happy Father's Day for everyone this next Sunday.
Wonderful. Great. We have a next speaker, Mr. if I'm pronouncing wrong, Diego, who is executive member from Brazil. Over to you for 2-3 minutes, role of father in the children education.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity of being here. And I can say that as an educator, I work with kids and adults. Father has a big role when we talk about education. We can see that kids that the father are participating in their school life, they have a better performance, and they are also not afraid of the parents or the father as we used to have before, but now they see them as an example that they want to fulfill their expectations. This is a very good change of scenery, especially here in Brazil. We have, unfortunately, a big number of parental, especially father, abandonment for the kids. And when we see that the father leads the kids, especially over example, uh, these kids grows happy or happier, we could say, and their sense of achievement is much more visible we can love to see when the kids say, hey, my father loved to see that, and how they like to participate into that. It's an amazing thing to see for the kids. Also, I can say that I agree with what my peers said before. Nowadays, we have much more informations, and the kids have lots of contacts with the world. And it comes to sometimes to the parents, especially to the father, to filter this information to say this is good for us now, this is not good for us now, and how we lead with that for the kids. It's an amazing thing how we can see the parents getting involved in the kid's life and as a support, not as an instrument of fear anymore. Like they are really interested. They go to the PTA meetings, and it's an amazing thing to see them working with the kids to get to the objective.
Wonderful, wonderful. Very well. If I take from you, a father has a role to choose what is right, what is the best for their child. And this is a matter of experience, which
Yes.
father has experienced and they can guide. Very, very well point taken by you. Now I would love to invite Dr. Walter, who is on the screen. What is your take? You're smiling. So, role of father in nurturing children for education. Welcome to you, Dr. Walter, and over to you.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here. And I believe being father today is really challenging because we have a lot of threats coming to our kids, like information. It's really good to have information, but not all the information available. It's good to a child. And we have to in some way filter what they can access and what they cannot access. It's a big challenge to do that today. On the other hand, I believe that we also have working a lot today. Everyone works and works and works and works, and eventually we don't give the enough attention to our kids. And I believe as a father, we have to be there. We have to have time to be with our kids. So one of the main rules I try to follow is I work 8 hours a day. After that, it's my family time. I need to have time to be with them, because after they grow up, they will keep their path, and it's not I will not be able to have such amount of time. So be present. It is really important. I believe to show them that knowledge can bring us much further than anything else. We have to learn, we have to study, because knowledge is maybe the main tool we can have as human beings. And also it's important that we know that as human beings we will fail. Of course we will. And I believe we can try to do the best of we can do, and hoping that this is enough to grow good citizens, good human beings. And that it's as I said at first, it's a big challenge.
Great, really great, Dr. Walter.
Thank
you have added two things: time for children. And
sorry, I didn't understand.
You said time is most important factor which you need
Yes.
to give to your children.
Yes.
Otherwise, we keep working.
Yes, we have to play with them.
Role of father is now become challenging since we are living in a global world. Kids of India, kids of Brazil, kids of Mexico, kids of Australia, kids of Sri Lanka, kids of US, they all are interconnected. And pandemic was the one of best example where we all have come together to play our role and face the challenges. My closing question to Marcelo, what you do in the second round, I want your real role. What you do normally for your children on the daily basis. So our viewers, those who are going to watch this program, all the fathers of the whole world, they take a oath or they take some point from all of us and they can be a role model, a great father. So if I talk about myself, from the beginning when my kids were small, I used to sit with for their studies, for their dreams. My son, who is in US and doing his PhD, basically he's a mechanical engineer and now he's doing. Once I talk to him, I always encourage him, leave your dreams, what you wanted to do in your life. Rather than you must feel any burden, I have to do because of X, Y, or Z. No. My firm belief, father can be the best friend for their kids. And once they will have a better education, I am sure they will be happy in their life. So my question to Marcelo, what you do for your kids? Direct question without any adjective and any adverb. So let's fathers take it as a pledge in normal life, what we do for our own children. 1, 2, 3. Over to you. Closing comment.
Open conversations.
Wonderful.
Free conversations, a free space for my daughter to take their needs from me and for us to talk frankly for the best solution. Without losing my authority, I show her that I am a friend and that I'm here for her in any case. This is
So
for me
father has to be friend and father has
without
to have,
losing authority.
Yeah, not to be authoritative. Professor Walter, what you do 1, 2, 3 for your kids?
I try to be there. I speak every day with them. I try to show how the life works. Of course, there are some different ways to show that to kids, but I try to explain some things will work, some things not, and that's how life works. Eventually, we will achieve the success we want. Other times, no, and that's
so a father has to be with the children. Sometimes things works, sometimes it may not. So always be supportive. Really great. Yes. I would love to come. Digo, what do you do for children?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm not a parent yet, but I like to talk about my father. What does he do? Nowadays he's 72 years old, and what he does is basically everything. He support us no matter what. Since we were a kid, he never pressured us too much. Like, of course, we had some pressure as everybody, but he never pressured us too much. And he always supported us. When we say, hey, I'd like to go to this college, he say, go. No, but it's not this one. Go to another one. And so this supporting, even nowadays, I know if I call like 3 in the morning and say, hey, I need a carrot, he'll find a way to bring it. So this is something I learned from my parent. And he's one of my best friends too. I love talking to him. He's always open. We share opinions, and we can disagree without like having a fight. This is, I think, like this, like Marcelo said, like an open conversation. This, I think, is the best way of parenting.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think father has to be the friend. Great. I think the sentence which was, I think, endorsed by Marcelo, open talk, be friend to your kids. Professor Rubin, your comment, what normally you do with the kids, how you guide them?
Coaching is something that I do with people. But first, I have to coach my family members. And the first ones that I do is my kids, my 2 children. One is 25 years old, and the youngest one is 19 years old. So what I do is to empower them to know their skills, and they can overcome difficult situations, and they have to learn by their own how to do. And I use the life cycle or life circle. There is a strategy when we have different things in our lives, like education, family, work. So what is the importance that they give to every single thing, and what they do to improve in that field? That is something that they need to understand, that if they want that better present, they have to work for it.
Wonderful, wonderful, Professor Rubin. I think if I recall, indeed it is my pleasure, and special thanks to Professor Beatrice, who has taken this keen interest of bringing such a wonderful topic. Fathers has a major role to support. Fathers can be a good friend. A father can be a guide. Father can be a person who play the role by keeping conversations open. Father must have a discipline, and father must give time to their children. So this complete global discussion which we are doing today, of course, will bring a better change in the personality of future children. And these kids are going to be global children. They are not going to limited with their country, their language, their religion. Now we are dealing with the global challenges. So one of the engineer of India may work in Brazil and US. One of the US person can work in Mexico. Mexico person can work in Brazil. Brazil can work in Portugal. So this is the global chain. And almost this generation, kids become a global citizen. So as a closing comment, my heartfelt gratitude, congratulations to all the fathers, those who have shared their views. And they are doing their duties as a global father, responsible father, disciplined father. And as it was rightly said by Marcelo, you need not to be only earning member. You have to be the learning member. You have to be the guiding member. You have to be the supporting member for your kids. So kids, they can do better in the education. So now I invite to my global coordinator, who is in the center of this entire role, designing a program, that is no other than Beatrice. So Professor Beatrice, heartfelt gratitude. On the Father's Day, you have collected this super galaxy of the super fathers on the screen. So over to you for a vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you. I would like to thank you to today's speakers, who are parents and children alike. Thank you for being here, talking about the father's role in raising children. I believe that everyone here is a parent and a teacher too. So they are parents of biological children and parents at heart. Thank you to Global Edu-Leaders founder and chairman, SK Singh, for the opportunity to listen to parents and also share as a parent talk about their desires and children's education. The father is that person who can be the representation of strength and power, the one who was taught that men don't cry. But in the face of a request from a son or a daughter, or listening to "Father, I love you," it's able to let the tears run down on their faces. A parent has to teach the child to respect others and help them set the right boundaries in their relationships with others. This is the best way to help a children learn to build and support healthy relationships. Being a father is welcome, delivery, patience, dedication. More than giving life, paternity is being present and helping to raise children. It is participating in the good times, in the celebrations, but mainly being there when problems arise and make a simple smile difficult. Being a father is an effort so that the essential is there, and so that the most important thing is never missing, the father's love. Being a father is giving up of your own dreams for the sake of your children. Being a father is being sad because your dreams are postponed. But the important thing is to see your son or your daughter happy. Many will not know the meaning and the value of a father. Anyone lucky enough to have a real father can be proud and celebrate this virtue. Congratulations to all true parents on their day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Beatrice. She is the global coordinator of Global Edu-Leaders Forum. Hope to have some more programs in coming time. Have a nice day. Good morning, day ahead. And thank you one and all those who are going to watch this program on the social media. I request, I advise, I suggest to all fathers of the global world, let's come forward and play the role of caretaker, supporter, emotional counselor, professional counselor. Father's role are not limited. They can be friend, they can be guide, they can be advise. And more than that, they are the one who can bring the smile on the faces of their children. Father is a teacher, and of course, teacher is also a father. So Global Edu-Leader Forum aims to spread happiness among the children, those who are studying, happiness among the families, those who can understand the value of being a son or being a daughter or being a father. So this is my holistic approach through Global Edu-Leaders Forum. This is our sole responsibility. I must pay gratitude to all the fathers, those who have participated. Bye-bye. See you in the next episode.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank
Happy
you.
Father's Day.
Goodbye.
Happy Father's
Bye.
Day.
Happy
Thanks for
Father's
all.
Day.
everyone.